scholars, welcome back to another video on Teacher XJ's Map of English. So today we are actually going to be looking at the SPM speaking test format, okay, as well, and I will also be giving you like some tips to ace your speaking test. So if you have not subscribed to me yet, please subscribe, okay? I need the motivation. And currently I have about 234 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber or just a new viewer, hi, welcome. Okay, so in this community we are just like very chill, and I upload videos. I try to upload like videos at least 3 weeks for 3 weeks every month, so that should be about 6 videos including the Chinese version, because not everyone is proficient in English, right? And I just want to like explain in another language how y'all can like ace your English test. So yeah, and also to those who have shared like my videos and all those things to your friends or your family members, thank you very much as well. I appreciate it, and please continue to do so and support me, because I think you all should know by now that my goal for the end of this year is to reach at least 500 subscribers. Now I'm almost halfway there, and now we are like almost halfway through the year. So hopefully I will see like more subscribers joining our community, and then we all can just chill and have fun together. Okay, without further ado, let us just dive into the topic. Okay, so right now I'm going to elaborate on our SPM speaking test format, which is very simple. Okay, you have 3 parts, just like your Form 1 to Form 3 speaking test. And generally for part 1, they will just ask you basic questions like, what's your name, where you're from. Okay, and it should be around 4 questions per candidate. And for part 2, you remember for Form 1 to Form 3, candidate A gets 5 pictures and candidate B gets another 5 pictures, right? So for SPM, it's actually the same, but instead of getting pictures, you are just getting words, okay? And for part 3, it's also a discussion for both candidates, like your Form 1 to Form 3. Okay, it's very easy actually, and the total marks for your speaking test is actually 25%, and the total time for you to do your speaking test is 13 minutes. Okay, and the main point of this speaking test is to test your speaking and listening skills. I mean, of course, you talk is speaking, that's a given, right? But listening skills is, why they test your listening skills is because they want to see whether you actually understand the questions. Okay, so please be very mindful, be very careful when listening the questions. Okay, when listening to the questions, because you don't want to go out of topic. Because if you go out of topic, that means no marks. Okay, and they want to see whether you understand the questions, and if you can apply your vocabulary and your grammar and all those things, analyze the questions, and evaluate all these things. But this is not important. What's important thing you must know here is, number 1, the format, which I just told you, there are 3 parts, and number 2, how to elaborate on your answers. Okay, but before we go on that part, I want to talk about some tips for you to improve your speaking skills. Okay, tips for you to ace your speaking test. Okay, so number 1, you have to find out the structure of the test. Congrats, you already done that, right? You were watching my video just now, and if you've been paying attention, you should know the structure of the test by now. Okay, and this one is also another thing that I told you just now. Make sure to answer the questions without going out of topic. Okay, because if you go out of topic, how do you expect the interlocutor, who is the marker, to give you points? Okay, because you're talking about a completely different thing. And third one is, in my opinion, the most important one: practice. Okay, and prepare well. I don't recommend y'all to memorize answers. Of course, you can read up other people's answers. You can, look up for some references, but you don't need to memorize. Okay, all your memorization cells and whatever, it goes for your histories and your science and your math. That's enough. Okay, for language, it's something that is alive, so you must make sure that you practice well for it. Okay. And not just by reading. When you read samples, I would, this is another tip for you. I recommend you to actually read it out loud. Okay, make sure you actually pronounce the words. Okay, so that you are used to saying those words. Okay, and if possible, you should learn some specialized vocabulary that is related to your life, your interests, your hobbies. Okay, like if you like to play badminton during your free time, okay, you should know like vocabularies, words that are related to badminton. What is it? Racket, badminton court, shuttlecock, booking, reservation, player, all these things. Do not use words that you're unfamiliar with. That is my next tip. Okay. Of course, in before you do your test, you can go and read up words, okay, that are new to you. That's fine. But if you suddenly heard this random word that you thought sounds fantastic or bombastic before your speaking test, do not use it, because you have not gone and look up for the meaning for this word yet, and you're unfamiliar with it, so don't use it. Okay. And next, you should be aware of the time. Like I said earlier, you only have 13 minutes to do your speaking test. So please be very, very aware. Okay, when you elaborate on a point, don't be very naggy, because you'll be taking up a lot of your time and even the other candidates' time, and that would be unfair for them. Okay, so please be aware. And and for part 2, right, you have about 1 minute. You have 1 minute. Okay, to elaborate your part 2, which is the one I said is like for phone 3 is pictures, but for SPM is words, right? So that is 1 minute. Try to make your content between like 55 seconds to 70 seconds. Okay, don't just talk too fast and go all the way to 30 seconds out of 1 minute. That shows that you don't have a lot of ideas, you're not that familiar with the language, and that's very bad. Okay. Try not to talk too fast also. Okay, you are doing a speaking test, you're not rapping, you don't need to be speaking that fast. Okay. And also, if you talk very fast, the interlocutor, the marker, may not be able to understand what you're saying actually, and you will lose marks from that. Okay. And of course, you can pause for a short while you are thinking of what to say, but don't pause for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It's too long. Okay, and try not to use filler words. Okay, words like lah, these are all filler words. Don't use that. It sounds that you are not familiar with the language. And also native speakers, and like the British and the Americans, they don't use these words. Okay, la, they don't use all these. Okay, and make sure that you elaborate on your answers. Okay, you just explain why you said this particular point. Okay, make us, the listeners, understand what you're trying to say. And last, also a very important tip, do not speak in a monotone. So what is a monotone? Okay, so I'm going to read like a brief sentence. Okay, let me just randomly get a book and I'm going to read a brief sentence. It's like when you're talking, when you're saying in this sentence, it's just like you have no emotions, and that sounds bad. Okay, let's see what sentence I can use. Okay, this one. So this is an example of what a monotone sounds like. She was born on 16 December 1775 in the south of England in a rural country called Hampshire. You see, 2 mistakes that I'm making here. Number 1, I'm talking very fast. Number 2, I only have one tone, one wavelength, if you would call it, when I talk. Okay, so you need to have like a little bit of like emotions when you talk, right? Like for example, she was born on 16 September 1775 in the south of England in a rural country called Hampshire. Can you hear? There's emotions, there's wavelengths when I'm talking. Okay, so here are the tips for you to ace your speaking test. Okay, so please remember to apply these tips. So that's all for today's video, and I'll see you next time. Bye scholars, have a great day.